Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. We are back. This is live. If you're watching live, welcome to the show. If you're not watching live, then welcome. Anyway, this is the Manchester United against Leicester City preview. Manchester United are back in action after the international break. And coming into the international break, it wasn't pretty looking for Manchester United fans. When you looked at the results, we had 5 points out of a possible 12 points from the first 4 games. And Manchester United fixtures that are on the horizon in terms of the home games, we've got Leicester, Arsenal, Liverpool coming up at home, and tricky away ties against West Ham, Norwich and Newcastle. So we've got some very difficult games on the horizon. This is one of those, a big game for Manchester United. It's a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff here in the UK, a traditional time for the kickoff. I love these games. You go there on a normal time on Saturday. You're not having to take time out on a Sunday or anything like that. I absolutely love it, and it's going to be rare this season, especially with us being involved in the Europa League. Difficult game as well. We don't want to be feeling glum at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, that's for sure. That's one way to ruin your whole weekend, and we need points. The performances against Wolves wasn't bad. In the second half, against Crystal Palace, we probably should have won the game. Against Southampton, it wasn't a great performance. And the performances have been up and down. The results have been up and down. But we should be getting a result in this game. It's vitally important we get a result in this game. Yes, it's only the 5th game into the season, but you don't want to be playing too much catch-up. You don't want to be playing too much catch-up. Now, I know Tottenham have dropped points too. Chelsea have dropped points. Arsenal have dropped points. That's going to be the common theme throughout the season, particularly with Chelsea, Arsenal and ourselves. I feel like we are going to drop points, and it's between one of us 3 for that top 4 spot. But Manchester United need to be getting a result in this kind of game. Leicester City, they'll be hoping they can spring a surprise and make it into that top 4 and try and get that 4th spot, because you know what? You look at them, they've got a pretty good coach, they've got a pretty good team, and a lot of Leicester City's players would get into Manchester United's team. You look at their midfield. The only one of our midfielders that will get into the Leicester City midfield is Paul Pogba, Ndidi, Maddison, Tielemans. Fantastic players that would all start for Manchester United if they were here. It's incredible. Obviously, we've taken Maguire out of their defence, but they've still got a reasonably good defence. In Johnny Evans is there. Obviously, they've got Pereira and Chilwell as well at fullback. So they've got very good fullbacks. And with the injuries to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, if he is out, and obviously Luke Shaw's out, so Ashley Young's likely to start. If Ashley Young starts and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's out, then they've got better fullbacks than United. I think Chilwell's possibly better than Shaw at this point. And in fact, he is better than Shaw at this point. I'm being kind to Shaw in that aspect. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka's the only fullback that would get into their team. So you're looking at that and you're thinking Leicester City have a very good side. A very good side. And United coming into this under a lot of pressure. We've had that break. We've had that international break where we can get, shake the cobwebs off maybe from the club form. But we have had a few injuries. Wan-Bissaka pulled out of the England squad. Jesse Lingard pulled out with illness. Paul Pogba didn't travel with France because of that injury picked up just before the international break, which could do us a favour in terms of if it wasn't a serious injury, then Paul Pogba's had a little bit of a rest. Anthony Martial had an injury. You're looking at injuries in a few key positions. So we're hoping Wan-Bissaka's fit. We're hoping Pogba's fit. We're hoping Martial's fit. I think Ollie will be really hoping Jesse Lingard's fit for this game as well, despite the form that he is in. Because you look at the way Leicester City play. They play high intensity football. They pass the ball out quickly. And in terms of our number 10s, who's going to play? Jesse Lingard is probably the best option for this game in terms of the attributes that he brings. Angel Gomez hasn't been getting into the squad in every match day, so it's unlikely that he's going to come straight into the team. Juan Mata, fantastic player. Has he got the pace to really unsettle what Leicester City are doing? Probably not. So you're looking at Jesse Lingard is probably going to start this game. Me personally, I want to see United strengthen that midfield, and I feel like that's been United's big problem throughout the season. Paul Pogba is playing too deep. When he's playing well and he's playing good, he's further forward, he's getting forward, he's breaking out. But when he's doing those things that we know Paul Pogba can do at times and really frustrate us, it's because he's on the edge of his own box. He has a tendency to, look forward and look for forward plays, and whether that's trying a little bit of skill that he probably shouldn't be doing, or hitting the pass and overplaying it, or not completing a pass. On the edge of his box, we don't want him doing that. We want him to be on the edge of the opposition's box and in the offensive half of the pitch. We don't want to see him in there. And because we haven't got many midfielders, Fred off getting married, he didn't have a full pre-season. Matic out of form, not very good at the moment. McTominay is McTominay, is an average central midfielder. We're looking to, you know, McTominay would usually be a very good squad player for a Manchester United side. Right now he's starting every single week. Now I hope he can come on and improve, but he's not the level of player we want starting week in, week out in that midfield. And we haven't got enough to play a free. If we can play a free, then we can free up Paul Pogba a little bit more and get him in those positions where we know he can cause other teams problems and not cause us problems. So it's that midfield area, and it's going to be a big battle in there. We've got Pogba, hopefully he'll be back fit. McTominay is probably going to start. Is Fred or Matic going to start? Fred hasn't been in the squad, so we hear that he's been training behind closed doors and all that, and really intensifying his training, but nothing quite like match fitness. Is he likely to start a game of this magnitude with this pressure on? Probably not. So then you're looking at Andreas Pereira. His form has been hit. He's done some very good things, and then he's done some things that have not been so good, and his form's been hit and miss. And that's what we've got to expect as well from this team. When you look at the team that Manchester United have, the age of it, we've seen the stats in the start of the season. It's a very young squad. In the attacking areas, Martial, Rashford, they're going to be inconsistent. We're hoping this is the season where everything clicks for them. But that's going to happen. Mason Greenwood, the same with him. We're relying on him to come forward and step up. You know, in midfield, we've got Paul Pogba, but what else have we got? Nothing. In defence, again, 2 brand new players coming in. And then we've got Luke Shaw and Victor Lindelof. Now, Victor Lindelof has shown signs, and we did the preview for Full-Time Devils, and a lot of people have been saying Victor Lindelof should be coming out, and Paul made a great point in that. You'll see the Full-Time Devils preview, so I'm not going to steal his whole point. But we need to be building a partnership and not, taking them apart straight away and allowing them. Maybe they're going to make a few mistakes. Maybe once that relationship builds between those two, then we can see those mistakes ironed out. So we need to see the centre halves improving and building a relationship together, and we're not going to do that by dropping them. Let me dive into some of the comments as well. Obviously, we're live. It haven't been live for a while. I was on holiday. Obviously, come back now. We're back. Manchester United this weekend at home. Leicester City. I've seen Dean in the comments earlier. Dean will be back for the aftermath this weekend as well, if he isn't too busy. Rashford must be dropped, says a ditcher. Sadiq Ali, thank you for joining us in the comments. Ilya says he doesn't think Rashford will be dropped. Daniel's also in there as well. In the comments, his comments just moved up as I was about to read that. Why is Ali afraid to drop Rashi, says Jason. I don't think he's afraid to drop Marcus Rashford. I just think you look at the team. Have we got the options there? Jesse Lingard's been out of form as well. You can maybe shift him into a wider position if he's in form and pull Rashford out and put him on from the bench. Then Martial was injured, so we then haven't got an option at number 9. Mason Greenwood 17. Are you going to keep starting him now? We want to see him start eventually, but are we going to see that at the start of the season? So maybe Ollie's looking at Rashford and thinking we've got to try and play him through this form rather than just pull him out. Now, I'm not saying which one's right. In hindsight, you could be thinking, we maybe should have took him out a little bit. But when you've got injuries and you haven't got as much of a squad, you're unable to do that. So I don't think it's a thing of favouritism. I don't know if that's what you're suggesting by the the Rashi kind of thing, but I don't think it's favouritism. You just got to look at the squad. The squad is very, very thin. 3 points needed this week, says Ming. Diddley Squat says Leicester will dominate us in midfield. It's a possibility. We need big performances in that midfield area, and that's why I think Jesse Lingard will start this game, because he's someone that's probably going to drop deep. Now, I'm fed up of this 4-2-3-1. I want to see us go back to the 4-3-3, but like I've alluded to earlier, we haven't got the midfield to be able to do that. So it's another catch, 22 situation or whatever you want to call it. Who do you play in midfield? I would like to see Fred, Pogba, McTominay, but are we? Or even Andreas Pereira, Fred, McTominay, but are we? Fred and Pogba, I don't think we are. So stop saying Mr. Rashi, guys. Why is people being so bitter towards one of our players. It's really weird. There's nothing wrong with Marcus Rashford or people, if you want to call him Rashi, whatever. Fucking hell, he's one of our own. Stick to him. I remember a point in time where we used to, United fans used to just back all their own, man. What the fuck's all this? Bitching about him. Have an opinion. Yo, Rashford should be dropped, or you know what? I think Ollie might be playing Rashford too much. I don't think he should start. But all this bitching about our own players. Come on. You can have an opinion without being a knob towards them. Just a suggestion. What happened to our traditional 4-4-2, says Iman? Football's changed. Obviously, Leicester City won the league with it when they played 4-4-2. But even halfway through the season, they switched to more of a 4-1-4-1 and went a little bit more defensive. Started sucker punching teams on the break. I think you look at it, it's rare. It's very rare. The diamonds are where you could play it. It's almost like a 4-3-3 then, because you got one CDM, two central midfielders, and a CAM just off two strikers, which could become a front three if your CAM can also play in a number 9 position and your two strikers can play in a wider position. So we haven't got the players to do it. That's been the problem for United. We could then play a diamond, which is almost a 4-4-2, and have Paul Pogba in the left central midfield position, maybe a Fred in the right central midfield position. But as we've seen, we haven't had a Fred because he hasn't been about. I think Ndidi is going to run the midfield, says D. Hopefully we're not discussing that in the aftermath live, and we're too great. What the hell? Are we back? Are we back, guys? I'm not sure what's going on. Let me know when we're back. I know we just dropped out. The signal did. Let me have a look on my phone. McKola TV. I am Adam. We are back. This is live. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what's happening. We are back, guys. What's going on? Yes, so I can't even remember where I was. Where was I? What was I saying? Can anyone let me know what I was saying? But yes, we are back. If we're not back, then refresh the stream. Refresh the stream. The internet dropped off where I was, but we came straight back just as I was about to switch it up and put it to my tethering, which would have battered my phone, but okay. Colin says he saw me in Birmingham airport. Did I have a nice holiday? I did have a nice holiday. I went to Portugal. It was a great little break. I see you with the Bulls shirt. Are you excited for the game this weekend, says Jordan. I am excited for the game this weekend. Really, really looking forward to it. It's even just as a game of football. It's a fantastic game. If I was a neutral, as a Manchester United fan, I'm going there thinking, geez, this is going to be a tricky game. But if we can get a win, then it's a good confidence builder. Ndidi running the midfield we were talking about. Yeah, we need our midfield to perform. And I think it was D that made the comment about our midfield, and Ndidi is a fantastic player. He's going to be coming in there, breaking the lines and breaking position. We've got to try and play around him. If they've got Yuri Tielemans in there, Maddison, they're fantastic. But if we can stop the supply to them, then we've got one half of the battle. They are going to operate in that final third, but the great thing with them is Yuri Tielemans particularly, he can drop deep, come collect the ball, and then bring it to Maddison. So it's a really, really quality side that they've built together. Even with them losing Harry Maguire, they've still got a fantastic team. Jutaru, thank you for the nice comment. Ben says we need to make a statement with a win. Ritesh says hi from Nepal. Thank you for tuning in, mate. Did I find Madeline? No, I didn't find Madeline. The parents definitely involved, by the way. Please no Lingard, says Kevin Hayes. I think Lingard's... Who's going to play if Lingard doesn't? Now, I'm not saying on form Lingard deserves to play. He's looked like he's been lacking confidence. He's looking like he's lacking form. He hasn't played very well. He's not injured. I think he's ill. And that's why he pulled out of the England squad. So you'd expect his illness to have passed by now. And I think he will start this game. Like I said, we haven't got the players to play in a 4-3-3. In fact, let me bring up my team, my predicted lineup for this game. This is my predicted lineup for this game. I would like to be able to say I predict a midfield of Fred in there. So we've got a midfield 3. But I don't think we can. I think we're going to see David De Gea in goal. Luke Shaw at left back. Hopefully Bissaka is fit and plays at right back. Then Lindelof and Maguire, like I was saying earlier, we don't want to break them apart. Hussein's commenting saying, Hussein Nassim saying, McTominay, Fred and Pogba. I would like to see that as well, but I don't think we are. I think we'll see McTominay and Pogba and maybe Fred come on for Lingard. Lingard, Rashford, Martial and Daniel James. That's the team that I've gone with. I would love to see Greenwood start. I would love to see Fred start, but I just don't think we're going to see it. And I think we're going to persist with this 4-2-3-1. Now, I don't want to see us persist with this 4-2-3-1. I want to see us go to a 4-3-3. Allow Pogba a little bit more freedom in midfield. Allow him to push up away from our back four and play further up the field. I want to see us progress to that, but we haven't got the players at the minute. Funny looking Luke Shaw, that says Alex. Luke Shaw's injured, mate. So Luke Shaw probably isn't going to start. Straight up D says, I do not want to see McTominay. McTominay is probably going to play, guys. I think we've got to get used to this. Daniel James is in fantastic form. I think he's been a positive for United this season. Hit and miss with his delivery into the box, but we've seen his finishing for club and country. His finishing has been fantastic, cutting in bang, top bins, whether he's placing it or firing it in really hard. He's done fantastically well since his start for United. But I want to see him finding the runners into the box now. They need to give him runs into the box, but he needs to find that delivery as well. If he can find that delivery, he'd be one of the most complete wingers in the league. So we need him to do that. Finding that final delivery, that's what we're coming to see. We're going to have to see from him at Manchester United now. We can't expect it all within 4 or 5 weeks. We're going to have to wait. It's going to be a progress. It's going to be a process of getting him experience with Manchester United, being able to take that pressure, take the knocks, take the dips in form as well. How do players react to dips in form? That's what we need to see. Now, Ilya says Fred needs to start this game, and I totally agree with you. I want to see Fred start, but like I was saying, that is my predicted 11. If I was going to pick my 11 and it was a perfect world, we'd see David De Gea in goal. We'd see Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire. If Dalot is fit and back, Dalot in there, but probably not, so Ashley Young. Then in midfield, we'd see Fred, Pogba, and Pereira or McTominay. Toss of a coin between them. They both haven't been in the finest of form, but let me see which one. Play a midfield 3, yeah? And then get in there, up top, Daniel James, Martial, Rashford. Can we play a midfield 3? I just want to see it. Atul Gortam says 4-1-4-1 is the formation for us. Alex Hobson isn't feeling good about this one and says, I think we're due an absolute trashing off someone, to be honest. This will be a big wake-up call. It has the potential to be that kind of game if we don't take our chances. If we allow Leicester City to have possession, we allow Leicester City to dominate, and we allow their midfield to take control of the game, then it will be a problem. We do need to perform. We have to perform. We're not going to be able to blag our way through this game. Leicester City are a well-drilled, well-coached team. They know how to keep possession. They've got fantastic players in their side as well. Someone like James Maddison, a lot of United fans want to see him signing for United. So he's the kind of player we're looking at, and we're coming up against him. James Vardy is going to be a problem for defences. Hopefully Maguire and Lindelof can come out on top in that battle. Yuri Tillsman in the midfield. Ndidi. Big battles. Who's going to be in the midfield? Is it going to be just McTominay and Pogba? Are we going to get to see a midfield 3? Am I wrong with my predicted 11? I hope so. And we do see a midfield 3. It'd probably be the best way to go. But where I think we're going to get that third person dropping back, that's why I think Jesse Lingard's probably going to start this game despite his bad form. I can see him coming in there and being the one that drops between the lines and helps out that midfield and tries to win possession back as well from Leicester City. That's the way I'm looking at it going into this game. Let me know your thoughts. I hope Martial's fit. When I was checking on Physio Room earlier, they said Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba all had 75% chance likelihood of them being involved and starting this weekend. So hopefully it comes out the positive side of that. I'm rounding up with that one. If Martial is injured, do you think Greenwood will start? Says Felix Beach. It's a great question, and we don't have any choice really, do we? We kind of have to start him if he doesn't, because that's the position that we're in at this moment in time. So for me, I'd say yes, start him. He's a confident boy. He doesn't seem too phased by anything. I know it was only pre-season, but when he played in pre-season, he came up against some seasoned pros and he looked after himself. So I fancy seeing him start a game. He's come on and shown glimpses, shown flashes. Could have had a goal probably against Southampton. It would have been a dream one for him. And then we would all be saying start him. You know what I mean? And I think he's a player that will take chances when they come his way. So give him a go. If Martial isn't fully fit and he's going to break down, or because if it's a muscle injury, you don't want a player to be rushed back. I'd just like to think he's had enough break. I don't have any good fantasy league tips, mate. I just haven't arsed with it. I normally forget after 2-3 weeks and then just think, fuck it, can't be arsed with this. Why Fred won't start if they're not giving Fred a chance to prove himself? They're allowing goal because I don't like seeing him on the beach. It's active duty. I'm assuming you mean bench. I don't want to see him on the beach either, getting married during pre-season, and that's why he isn't starting, because he was on the beach when he was supposed to be in pre-season. If he's fully match fit, if he's ready to play him. I just don't think we are. We will see, because he wasn't even on the bench in the last game. Do you know what I mean? Maybe play 3 across the back, says Ultra 67. Lindelof, Twanzebe, Maguire. Possibility. Long ball and clinical finishes, says D. James KH. Long ball United. To be fair, the football that we've actually, we've tried to play hasn't been that bad. We've been on the front foot. We've been attacking. I think if you look at the Chelsea game, we took our chances in that game, and that was the difference. We absolutely took our chances. We got 3 points. Wolves, I thought we were much better than we were against Chelsea. Not much better, but we were better than we were against Chelsea. Should have got the win, didn't. And then you have that negative energy around the whole thing. We go into the Palace game. If Pogba scores his penalty, I'm not saying Pogba's at fault for Rashford, but I'm just on about positive vibes here, yeah? Pogba scores his penalty against Wolves. We're feeling great. He goes and takes the one against Palace, scores it, and then 1-1. I think we win that game. If Rashford scores that penalty, I think we win that game. We don't. We go on to lose that game, and then it's just big pressure on in Southampton. You can take a draw against Southampton if you away from home if you've won your first 3 games. Now it's not looking good, and we got a tricky game against Leicester. Tricky game against Leicester City. Tricky game against West Ham United away from home. Tricky games coming up against Liverpool, Arsenal. We got Europa League football back, Rochdale back in the cup. Madness. I believe we've been playing well, but need to be more clinical on passing and execution, says Ramon. Some of the Indian national team players could get in this United squad, let alone Leicester, says Zutting. Actually ordered some India shirts. Can't wait for them to land. Adam in midfield, we have no chance against Leicester City. On form and on pure talent alone, they have got a much better midfield than us. Obviously, if Paul Pogba can have a great game, then you know what, we pull it out of the bag. But we need the players around him to perform as well. I'm not really pointing the fingers at him. We need the whole team to perform. He's one big part of that because he's our best player. I'm really hoping that Martial is fit. We need Anthony Martial fit. We need Martial playing in that number 9 position. He looks like our most natural number 9 at the club at the moment. I really wanted his movement to improve this season, and he showed signs of that as well, moving in between the lines, trying to make things happen. Because his movement prior to that, I felt like he could always do more. Once he gets in behind a defence, or alongside a defence, or even in front, isolates a man 1-to-1, is very good, we know that. but we need him to make those chances for himself a lot more as well by having that little bit of extra movement. And I'm sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be drilling that into his head. Come on, use your movement. Sniff these goals out, because not everything's going to come to you. Not everything's going to be a world-class finish from outside the box, tucked into the top bins. You can score them, but sometimes you're going to have to get them scruffy goals, and that's what we need to see. Spider-Man has it under control, says Chris. We've got a very good defence if fully fit. Obviously, I think Ashley Young did better than Luke Shaw in one of the games where he came on for him. But personally, obviously, we want to see Luke Shaw starting. But Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka's a very good defence, and I think we're quick to get worried and scared. And we've seen Lindelof maybe not win that battle against Southampton and the goal against Crystal Palace, but there's something that we can be positive about. They're working on. David De Gea, don't fall asleep on your near post or anything like that. And we should have a solid defence. What can we do in midfield to both support them and in creating chances? CrossFit Jesus says, how does it feel to be the only level-headed United fan at YouTube? I'm not sure, mate. I think that's a compliment. Thank you. AWB is going to be much better if he works on his delivery. It'll be a great threat for opposition, says Atul. Yeah, he's been very good for United so far this season. All the new signings have come and contributed immediately, and that's what you want. The problem for Manchester United was the lack of signings, not the signings that we made. The lack of signings, the activity going out. We didn't bring enough in. It's going to cause us problems. We saw that when Martial got injured. We didn't have enough up top. We've seen that in midfield. We haven't got enough in midfield. That's going to be a problem, and it's going to be a source of inconsistency and frustration for Manchester United fans this season. We've kind of got to deal with it and just take it on the chin. It's going to be a tough season this season. I imagine there's going to be a lot of goals. We haven't kept a lot of clean sheets. I expect we might score a few. We might concede a few against Leicester City. It's whether we come out on top of it, and hopefully we can do. Hopefully we can do, man. I'm going to flash up my team again. My predicted 11. Remember, if I had my own way, this would be a 4-3-3 with Fred in midfield and the front three of Rashford, Martial and Daniel James. I wouldn't mind seeing Mason Greenwood given 30 minutes in this match. Obviously, it depends where we are in the game. Fred, if he doesn't start like I expect him not to, I want to see him come on in this game and get some minutes as well. My predicted score for this game, I'll go with the one I used on full-time Devils earlier as well. So I'm going to be consistent and say 3-2 to Manchester United. Now, that's me being optimistic. I kind of half feel it might be 2-2. It's a genuine 50-50 game, It's nuts. It's a genuine 50-50 game. It could go either way. Leicester, I wouldn't be surprised to see Leicester win. Wouldn't be surprised to see United win. Wouldn't be surprised to see a score draw. I'd be very surprised to see a 0-0. There's going to be goals. I'm just hoping United get more than Leicester City. I'm really am. We need 3 points. We can't allow there to be a negative spiral or a negative, I know we're going to be inconsistent. It's going to be a tough season. But we need wins to break up these bad results as well. And we've lost against Crystal Palace at home in our last home game. We can't allow that to become a thing and get 3 points. And hopefully we can look at the Crystal Palace game as an anomaly. But if you lose again, it's tricky, man, because we've got a lot of young players. You don't want their confidence to be destroyed. You want them to keep that confidence because you want them to have that rawness that young players bring. And if they lack that confidence, even the likes of Rashford, we've seen how it can affect him, Martial, their heads drop, and you want to see players. We haven't got many leaders in this team, and we want to see players kind of just rolling their sleeves up, getting a victory tomorrow. We know it's going to be a tough season, but let's get a victory. Let's get 3 points on the board. 7 points out of 15, it's not ideal, it's not great, but then you look at, 8 points out of 15. Again, it's still not ideal, it's whatever, but you look at things a little bit differently. So, and if you beat Leicester City, you go into that West Ham game thinking, all right, we beat a good Leicester City side. West Ham, tricky test. Let's beat these lot. Let's see though, Leicester City up first. And I will have plenty of content from the game as well. Remember, we'll have the fan cams on full-time Devils. We'll have the match day vlog here on McKola TV. We'll have the live reaction from outside Old Trafford as well, about an hour after the game. after I've finished fan cams and stuff. So while you're waiting for fan cams to be uploaded, I'll have a little chat with you here at Adam McKola TV. Then of course we've got the aftermath live the day after the game. Depending what time I'm home, we could even do it around match of the day. I'll see what Dean's up to on Saturday, but if not, it's most likely to be Sunday. I might have the weekly United up as well, because while I was away on holiday, I got into a little bit with Rio Ferdinand, which was fun on Twitter. It wasn't even about United, but I feel like we might have a little chat about it. And I might do a weekly United tomorrow, actually. Yeah, so loads of content coming your way. I want to keep it consistent. I was away because I was on holiday. I told everyone about that, but now the football's back. Now the international break's over. I'm back, and we've got plenty more coming your way. So keep it locked. Here, it's Adam McKola TV. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, keeping it locked, and I'm out of here.